is that you go from like one feeling to another feeling with an immense quickness that seems to be new. So let's work it out. Let's work it out in color. Does everyone have a piece of paper? Yes. One little piece of paper in front of them. Okay. And does everyone have their watercolors?
Yes.
If we have markers or
crayons,
is that okay?
Well, watercolors are the best for what we're doing right now, but if you have, yeah, it's got to be watercolors. Markers, I guess, it's got to be watercolors. Does anyone not have watercolors?
I don't have watercolors. I have crayons.
I'm considering using fruit.
I have acrylic.
But it's not watercolors, but they're like this.
Acrylic.
Okay.
Let me see if I can see you.
No, it's watercolors. It's watercolors.
Perfect. Yes.
Yeah.
As long as you
Okay.
can, anything you can add that you can put color and you can add water to it and you can make it so it's gonna have, yeah. So it's mobile. It's movable. I've never taught art before. I've been a full-time artist for 8 years. So, you know, one thing about these times is that more than we've ever been before, right? That's what we're sharing now. So the way that I create, the way that I started painting is that I read a study about water. And they said that if you took a glass of water and you wrote the word love on one, and you wrote the word hate on another, and you froze the water, and you scooped out a little piece and looked under a microscope at the different water that was frozen, the one that said love would be beautiful and look like snowflakes, and the glass that said hate would look all helter-skelter and inconsistent. And so I started realizing that water, right? Water carries energy. And so I played with this, and I took 2 canvases. I wrote the word peace on one, and I wrote the word nothing on the other. And I soaked them for 3 days in water. Did all these beautiful formulations around it, and the canvas that had nothing on it was plain and empty, just monochrome blue. So I've spent 8 years studying what energy and water and color does together. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna take all the energy that we've been feeling, all of what's happening, and we're gonna create a mirror for ourselves. It's almost like tea leaves, right? Like ancient Chinese, you read the tea leaves at the bottom of the glass. So what we're gonna do with color today is we're going to create something to see, so we can see what is truly going on within ourselves. So get your paintbrushes. Get your paintbrushes and your waters and your colors. And I want everyone to take their paintbrushes, get a lot of water, choose their colors, and start putting color on paper. And if you're feeling angry or anxious, choose a color that kind of represents that. If you're feeling joyful and excited, choose something that feels that. And choose based on your feelings. What are you feeling? Are you feeling like a circle? Are you feeling like a square? Are you feeling strong? Are you feeling afraid? Just choose gently with yourself and your intuition. What are you feeling? And as you're painting with those colors and what you're putting down, feel those emotions that you're putting into putting into your piece of paper with the color. And sometimes I like to have, and then if you're feeling like you need a reset, or your paper feels like maybe it has an energy to it, sometimes I'll burn some sage and clear the paper. Just like clear it of anything that it's holding. You bless it. It's a beginning. It's a start. It's a secret. It's a secret that you're going to tell yourself. Sometimes when I want more energy in the room, when I want some guidance, I'll take and I'll light a candle. And when I light the candle, I say, may any energies, any entities, any light-filled beings that want to join this space with me, please join. And this is a blessing, and you can open your space. Often I open my space by lighting a candle. And if anyone has any questions or any thoughts, please feel free. My candle is very excited that you're all here. It's never bounced around quite so much before. The other day I was doing this exercise and I found myself using more black than I've ever used before. When I first started being a painter, I used to create a piece of art, work on a piece of art all day long, and I'd be sad about it at the end of the day. And I'd go home and I'd be sad. And I'd go, oh, why am I an artist? Shouldn't be doing this, makes no sense. And then I'd go back the next day and do 4 different strokes, a couple of different things, and all of a sudden it would be the most beautiful thing I had ever seen in my entire life. And it's so interesting how really each moment, each stroke can change everything. Going from perfection to rejection. And the part where I knew that everything was kind of coming into unison as a creator is that I stopped judging myself and started loving every stroke. And knowing every stroke was just part of it. What I love about doing this all together is all of our art together is actually affecting each other. What you're painting now is different because you're painting in unison with other people.
Hello.
Hello.
Ready?
How's everyone doing?
Good, good. So I'm kind of interested. We've got like 25 people here from, I'm imagining, all over the United States. I am the first time visitor here and I don't even know where. I'm just kind of like, oh, let's check it out. So do you guys
Amazing.
regularly, or what's the creative element? This is pretty nice that you brought everybody together. Is this the first time, or how did this come about?
You know, I'm a very private artist. I've been living in Manhattan for 8 years as a full-time painter. Because of what's happening on our planet right now, I'm stepping into this role of sharing some of my mystery, magic, secret art making. So because of the magic women that called me forth to do this, I've been asked many times. This is the first time I've said yes. So yeah, I'm coming. What's interesting too is in New York City is being called ground zero for the coronavirus in the United States. And so I'm coming to you from ground zero.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm coming straight from there. And as a report from ground zero, the flowers are blossoming on the trees. On the streets, the streets are empty of cars. The streets are only filled with lovers holding hands, people walking dogs, or people running.
Wow.
Besides that, the streets are empty. It's so beautiful. It's like out of a storybook dream.
It is quite incredible. You know, this is really an opportunity for humanity to reset and get present. You know, and as
so
these
true.
are together, you know, I think that this is a really good byproduct of that, and we need to strengthen, because literally it's like kind of ironic for me, because I'm with you now, all of you, which is 24 participants, and hello everyone.
Hello.
And yeah, and then I was actually, again, first time, just on Friday, another chat like this with Grant Cardone. You know, he's more sales and, you know, helping people develop and close business. And then I'm also part of another community, which is more real estate invested minded. So I've got you know, several windows that I'm looking into. I'm very entrepreneurial. And, you know, for me, this lockdown lifestyle isn't any big contrast to my daily living, because I am very fortunate in that, well, I do live alone, and but I live along the Fox River, and it's really gorgeous, and the wildlife and the, you know, bursting.
Where is the Fox River?
It's in Illinois.
Oh, amazing.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
I'll be there soon.
Can you show us what you made?
So if everyone takes, you can take your paper too, and if you want, like, play with the water a little bit and let the story unfold how it's meant to, if you feel so inclined. My piece is coming along like this.
Nice.
Different colors and golds and taupes. But one thing I know for my teaching is that when people ask me to teach, what I would always say is I'd say, I'm going to give you the materials and I'm going to walk away. I'm going to let you do it. You do all the different pieces. And then when you're done, I'll come back and I'll tell you the ending piece. There's a little bit of a surprise at the end that you don't know about, but for me, it's been something that is kind of, it'll be out of our control, that will show you the control that is the divine source that is, you know, linking us all in any given moment. But what I'm going to do, I've felt called to read a story. It's from a book called Einstein's Dreams. Each chapter is a different story about how time works. And this one just seems sort of apropos for the times right now. It's a short story, so please continue painting. And I'm going to read you a story. And when I'm done, then maybe it'll be time to take the next step. Does that sound good to everyone? Okay. The world will end on September 26, 1907. Everyone knows it. And burn, it is just as in all cities and towns. 1 year before the end, schools close their doors. Why learn for the future with so brief a future? Delighted to have lesson finished forever. Children play hide and seek in the arcades, run down Ostras and skip stones on the river. Squander their coins on peppermint and licorice. Their parents let them do what they wish. 1 month before the end, businesses close. The stores halt its proceedings. The Federal Telegraph Building on speed gas falls silent. Likewise, the watch factory, the mill, what need is there for commerce and industry with so little time left? On the outdoor cafes, people sit and sip coffee and talk easily of their lives. A liberation fills the air. Just now, for example, a woman with brown eyes is speaking to her mother about little time they spent together in her childhood, when the woman worked as a seamstress. The mother and daughter are now planning a trip. They will fit 2 lives into a little time remaining. At another table, a man tells a friend about a hated supervisor who often made love to the man's wife in the office coat room after hours and threatened to fire him if he or his wife caused any trouble. But what is there to fear now? The man is settled with the supervisor and reconsoled with his wife. Relieved at last, he stretches his legs and lets his eyes roam over the Alps. At the bakery, the thick-fingered baker puts dough in the oven and sings. These days, people are polite when they order their bread. They smile and pay promptly, for money is losing its value. They chat about picnics, cherished time listening to their children's stories, long walks in mid-afternoon. They do not seem to mind that the world will soon end, because everyone shares the same fate. A world with 1 month is a world of equality. 1 day before the end, the streets swirl in laughter. Neighbors who have never spoken to each other are friends, strip off their clothing and bathe in the fountains. Others dive in the air. After swimming until exhausted, they lie in the thick grass along the rivers and read poetry. A barrister and a poster clerk who have never before met walk arm in arm through the botanical garden, smile at the flowers, discussing art and color. What do their past stations matter? In a world of 1 day, they are equal. In the shadows of a side street, a man and a woman lean against a wall, drink beer and eat smoked beef. Afterward, she will take him to her apartment. She is married to someone else, but for years she has wanted this man, and she will satisfy her wants on this last day of the world. A few souls gallop through the streets, doing good deeds, attempting to correct their misdeeds of the past. Theirs are the only unnatural smiles. 1 minute before the end of the world, everyone gathers on the grounds. Men, women, and children form a giant circle and hold hands. No one moves, no one speaks. It is so absolutely quiet that each person can hear the heartbeat of the person to his right or to his left. This is the last minute of the world. In the absolute silence, a purple gentian in the garden catches the light on the underside of its blossom, glows for a moment, then dissolves among the other flowers. Behind the museum, the needled leaves of a lark gently shudder as a breeze moves through the trees. Farther back, through the forest, an air reflects sunlight, bends the light with each ripple on its skin. To the east, the tower of St. Vincent's rises its sky, red and fragile. Its stonework is delicate as veins of a leaf. And higher up, the Alps, snow-tipped, blending white and purple, large and silent. A cloud floats in the sky. A sparrow flutters. No one speaks. In the last seconds, as if everyone has leaped off Topaz Peak, holding hands, the end approaches like approaching ground. Cool air rushes by. Bodies are weightless. The silent horizon yawns for miles, and below, the vast blanket of snow hurtles nearer and nearer to envelop this circle of pinkness and light.
Beautiful, thank you.
How's everyone feeling? Are your papers wet? Are they thick? Are they thick with paint and color and feelings?
I think everyone's able to chat now. So if you want to read your chats, do you want me to read them to you actually?
Oh,
Pia,
sure.
Pia says that was so beautiful. Thank you.
Oh. At the end, we'll take our papers and we'll hold them in our hands. Hold them in both of your hands. And feel as if you're looking in a mirror when you look at it. Put a question into what, and look at this. Look at what your hand has done and your feelings and your colors. Feel it in your bones that it's part of you because it's something that you created. The perfection, the imperfections. Find where you're judging yourself, and then laugh at yourself because it's just paint and paper. And what I did the other day, which I found so rewarding, is I took the paper and I folded it perfectly in half. Perfectly in half together. Make sure it's all touching and your hands aren't either side of it. Almost like it's like a prayer. You have a sweet prayer holding your paper. And if you have shapes or you have birds, just know that it's okay. It's all going in here. Because it's also magic, and it's a prayer, and it's a mirror. And then when you have it between your hands, ask for it to show you what you most need to know now. And really feel it in your fingertips. And really feel this paper beneath your hands. And be really present to this moment that we're together. In this outrageous moment in time. Making a funny little piece of art that chances are we're going to end up keeping forever. Even if it's like in some notebook or a book that we put it in. And then when you feel complete, when you feel ready with it, and you've spent enough time kind of asking for it to show you, then you can slowly open it up. And now that you know what we're doing, if you want to take a moment and add any other colors or anything that you're like, this needs to add, and then add that. Add anything you think is missing. And then when you've done that, you can do it again and put the paper together. And if you want to get really next level with it, you can put it down. You can pick up the book that's next to you. You can open up to any page of the book, find the first sentence or word, and you can whisper it to your paper. And then what I've opened to for mine is the nows and laters have one thing in common. With infinite life comes an infinite list of relatives. And then you can open it again and see what you have. And meet what you've created. And what's really interesting I found is you won't know completely what it is until it dries, right? Because as it dries, things will bend one way or other pieces will change, but the drying is part of the process as well. Like what it is now, it might look different in 1 hour from now. Can everyone speak? Or can everyone speak and be heard on this, or just me?
I think because I have to allow everyone, so just a second.
Okay.
Okay, now people can unmute themselves.
Oh, amazing. If anyone would like to share where,
Thank you.
oh yeah, their name maybe, or where you're from. I would love to know where people are from. And if anyone feels inclined to share what they're seeing within themselves, I'd love to know.
Okay, I'll start. I'm Devora. I'm in Burbank, California, just outside of LA.
Uh-huh.
And this has been an unusual few weeks for me because while everybody is running around full of anxiety and fear, I have only felt joy, which is very strange. And so what I painted actually is in kind of pastel colors, which I never use, and it looks like a butterfly.
Oh,
So excited.
that's so fun. Did anyone else get a butterfly? Because I got a butterfly too. Actually. That's wonderful. Isn't it interesting that we're living in a time where you have to say, I feel so much joy, and I hope that's okay, Instead of just
gratitude. It's made me grateful for what I do have, not what I'm missing right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Can we see your butterfly? Or is it still drying?
It's still drying, but can you see it?
It's amazing. Wow. It looks like it could be like the beginning of a children's storybook. It's so it's got such good. Wow, beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you.
I love this. Anyone else have anything to want to share?
Well, my name is Pia. I'm Pia, and I live, well, you can't really see me, right? But here I am. So I live in a small town in Costa Rica on the Pacific, and we're here under quarantine. And I'm actually too full of joy, and I enjoy very much being in my house. And I'm really doing, I'm taking advantage of this quarantine, doing the best I can, and learning and doing things that I haven't had the time to do. So, and I have mixed feelings. I'm very happy because I'm in a good place. Like I'm no place physical. I mean myself. I feel like this crisis got me in a good place. I'm happy with myself and stuff. And well, and I'm lucky. I have a home, and I have a beautiful place. But I do feel like we need to change a lot of things. And so I show you this is my drawing, right? My thing. So
amazing.
you can see it.
Yeah.
So what I notice is funny that it reflects how I feel, because I do feel pretty joyful and happy as the colors I chosen, but I do feel like I'm afraid of lose control. I can see that in my drawing, that I'm holding myself. I'm holding myself, and I'm afraid of things going out of control. So I actually noticed this with the painting.
Oh, beautiful. How nice. And then your next painting, you can actually look into, you can go deeper into that quandary. Like, what am I afraid of, right? So your
Yeah,
next question
yeah.
could be like, what am I afraid of? What does it look like? You know, and play with it, play like that way. Right.
Maybe I can make the next one like that. Thank you.
Yeah, you can, I mean, we can go down rabbit holes of our own creation, right? With art. Yes, absolutely. Thank you for sharing. And hi.
Thank you. Thank you for doing this. I'm very happy to share with all of you these activities. It's
Yeah,
great. And thank you
wonderful.
for the book you read. Can you just later write down what the book is? So
Yes,
we can
absolutely.
have it.
The book is called Einstein's Dreams. It's Alan Lightman.
Okay.
And I've had it for years, and I put this little magic sticker on it years ago.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, it's a good little, it's beautiful. It's beautiful to play with time in your mind sometimes. Like you read one chapter and say, oh, what if time worked like this? Or what if time worked like this? And it plays with your consciousness a little bit, which feels good to me. Would anyone else like to share?
I would like to share.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Anatola. I'm in New York as well.
Yay!
Yes.
Ground zero.
Exactly. Ground zero. Never
I'm calling it
afraid.
the center of the hurricane. It's very quiet.
It is. It's really is the center of the hurricane. And I
Tornado,
had to come here like emergency from London where I was just like studying abroad. And so now I'm back. But
Welcome back.
thank you. When you said to fold it in half and then ask it to tell you what you need to know right now, I did that with my painting. And I thought it was interesting that when I opened it up, my paper was very wet with my colors, and some of the paper from one side had actually stuck onto the other. So it was like white where on top of the color because it was the paper on top of it.
Wow, yeah.
And it made me think that kind of people that you are with and are together with, and how we all kind of become a part of each other. That's the message that
Yes.
brought to me.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
What a beautiful thing to know. Always.
Yeah, exactly.
The oneness of all of us, right?
Yeah, and I think this situation is making that more clear. And the passage, it is. The passage I turned to in my book also felt kind of resonant and funny as well. It's not that long. Well, I have this book, Exploring the Edge Realms of Consciousness. It's by Daniel Pinchbeck and Ken Jordan. And I randomly turned to this page and it said, waking with this lucidly sought information, he went down to her dorm room and told her of his discovery. Quotes, I went up to her back and pointed my finger at the spot that I saw in the dream. And to both of our surprise, she lifted up her shirt and my finger was directly covering her freckle. Now, I have no idea what this means, but I don't think it's just a coincidence that I happened to guess exactly where the lone freckle on her back was. And there's two reasons why I think that's relevant to this moment in time. And one, because of the weird fact that it was in her dorm room when I'm approaching my last semester in college, and this whole situation made everything online class-wise and everything. And also how the idea that they have no idea what it means, but think it can't be a coincidence, where we don't have to have all the answers, but we know that it's meaningful and significant.
Yeah, these are things, yay! Thank you for sharing that treasure, that's such beautiful treasure wisdom. What a beautiful combo. It might even be interesting to take what you read and write it on the back of
I would love that.
You know, write it somewhere. So this moment, it's like a capsulation of a moment in time. So you can revisit it. And sometimes, you know, sometimes you understand things like years later.
Yes.
You'll understand this later on sometimes.
Cool.
Yeah. Yay, thank you. That was so beautiful. I really appreciate that sharing.
I think we have to wrap it up, unfortunately.
Okay.
But these are so sweet. I want to do this for like hours with all of you. I want to just
I know. I want to see. Wait, can we see your painting? Can we see what it looks
Yeah.
like?
So
so sweet.
for some reason, it's a lot of green.
Oh, I love it. It's a new world.
Yeah.
Green of hope.
Yes, I think it's
The
green.
earth is happy.
It's green of
Yeah.
abundance. There's also silver and yellow ochre.
Yay. Thank you so
Beautiful.
much.
Gracias.
Eye of the storm. Eye of the storm. Joy.
Exactly. Right on.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
So this is Carol, and
Yeah.
I'm in West Palm Beach, Florida.
Ah,
And
sunshine.
yes, exactly. Thank you.
Yay.
Hence I'm sleeveless. This was really a good process. Thank you so much.
Oh my God. It's such a joy. Thank you. Thank you for indoctrinating me into teaching. Thank you.
What a blessing. Anyway, it was really interesting what was revealed to me, because I was at each stage, like I was getting a feeling of what was happening. And it feels like, at first I thought I was sad, and yet I've been through a very transformational 2 years, and yet I'm feeling so much more joy. And yet at the same time, I can feel that there's so much coming in right now. You know, there's just like so much. It all exists. So it all exists. That's what I want to say about that, right? And
Yeah. Totally.
anyway, it's very, very different, and I'll just show you what it is. So I don't know if you can see.
Oh my
Wow.
God. Beautiful.
So
I want to live there. Right?
right, so there's just a lot going on. And so my when I opened up an old journal is what I opened to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so
Good one.
so I thought that was really interesting. And basically what it said was, when I'm picking up a lot of information, when I'm picking up a lot of fear, remember to pray, pray, pray.
Ah!
Okay. So I thought that was just really apropos when it's like, blah, you know,
And here you are with a piece of paper.
right? Hold my paper and pray.
Hold your paper and pray. You know, I'm a little sensitive about the word pray. I didn't use it growing up, but I'm putting a poetry book together right now. And my mother came in and she looked at all the poems and she said, you know, you use the word God and pray a lot. And I was like, I don't know. It just came in. I didn't choose them. They just came. But pray, it's praying. I mean, how fun to can you imagine if every time you prayed, you put your hands together and you could open it up and see? Like, this is what it is. It's just to have a visual prayer. It's like a visual prayer.
Yeah, that's really good.
We could do it every day, you know? What's my prayer look like today? What does a prayer for love look like? What does a prayer for joy look like? What does a prayer for my children, look like? What is it? Thank you, God. That was so beautiful. Please write that on the back so you know.
Okay. Thank you.
Great. Betty K, we love you. Thank you all for being here. Sorry we have to wrap because we have another session in
Thank you.
Tell them
3
we're
minutes.
busy.
They're going to start joining.